I first discussed the question of family violence, and let's call it for what it is, violence by men, because family violence is not violence by women. Women are capable of violence, but statistically they don't rate on the radar with violence by men. 2 years before the White Ribbon campaign began, I was already talking about violence towards women. I sat in the Melbourne Town Hall alongside my mother. We were shuddering. I was shocked. I was almost paralysed because 4 months earlier, my sister had been the subject of a murder trial in the Melbourne Supreme Court. My 25-year-old sister had been stabbed to death by her ex-boyfriend. She had ended the relationship with a bad man in early 1987. In August 1987, at 25 years of age, she parked her car at a kindergarten where she worked. He'd been waiting for an hour, ready to strike. He was armed with a knife and other weapons, masking tape. He was an assassin, and he completed his task. And we were called to the hospital, and again I sat with my mother. I loved my sister. She mattered to me. And we got the word that she was dead. It savaged and ravaged me and my family. But what was worse, that when we went to the court in February 1989, we tasted justice Western style in Australia. In that courtroom, I saw the big picture of violence against women. I saw a courtroom narrative that blamed my sister for being murdered. I heard a killer man in unsworn evidence be asked about his relationship with my sister, and in finishing and concluding his unsworn evidence say, "No, but I loved her." I saw a jury offered a defence of provocation under the now disbanded and discredited provocation law. I saw a jury hand down a not guilty to murder verdict. I saw a judge grant the killer a sentence of 3 years and 11 months in jail. I saw the judge speak for 3 minutes, 2.5 pages of conversation in sentencing remarks about the murder. Nothing about the pain of my mother and father's experience. Nothing about my sister's human rights. In one fell swoop, I saw the society writ large, and I said to myself, we must confront this. So in one fell swoop, I tasted it. But you might say of me, well, Phil Cleary has a particular story to tell, so he's going to be passionate, as they say. I believed in human rights long before my sister was murdered. So I'm not standing here as the brother simply of a murdered woman. I'm standing here as a person who believes in human rights. I believe in the human rights of a woman, and I say as a man, I am worse off if we extinguish the human rights of women.